Mariners traded for Cease? No, not quite. That was never going to happen. Like, that was never going to happen. Can't even emphasize that enough. But they did get someone who sets down the best hitters in baseball. Yeah, roll the film.
Swing and a miss. Just a 12th strikeout all year for Ryan.
Okay, so it gives you
Santos. 2-2. Struck him out. Second and third. That's strike three. Just nudge the corner.
he wins. Rivera strikes out. Back to back.
Swing and a miss. A slider tears down.
Okay, Santos. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Touching Bases podcast. It's good to see you guys with a little bit of news, late night news. There is big news for the Mariners. They picked up a star reliever that somehow nobody knows about, but yet is rated to be one of the best relievers in baseball rolling into 2024. So who is this guy? Well, Jerry Depoto decided to be the king chef of 2024 so far. I think he's made the most transactions than any other team at this point, which says a lot because it was a very dead, cold, dry, bitter, painful 2023 offseason at this point, but rolling into January 1st, it seemed to get real hot real quick. He removed Kelenic, he removed Suarez, he let go of Hernandez, he traded away Robbie Ray and Jose Caballero. Did I miss anybody? Pretty much all the big names that we had on the team besides Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh and basically our entire rotation, he was able to go out and pick up a monster crew that nobody really was expecting, except for a couple players that I can say a few podcasters for the Mariners were keeping an eye on. Signing Mitch Garver, Mitch Haniger, trading away for Luke Raley, signing Austin Voth, and Polanco. And speaking of Polanco, Twins' new second baseman that's going to be replacing him, what does Gregory Santos do?
Swing and a miss. Strike three. A nasty breaking ball.
Oh, it looks like he's sitting him down. Formerly of the South Side, Chi-Town, Chicago White Sox. He's now been traded to the Mariners, and the Mariners gave up Prelander, Baroa, and Zach Deloach, along with the 69th draft pick for this next coming season. Interesting choice, Jerry. 69th? Really? Now, Prelander was a promising 25-year-old reliever that we had in our system. He was pitching fairly well, at least in AAA. He has had his time at the bigs last year for 1.2 innings, or like an inning and two-thirds. But down in AAA, he was averaging about a 2.89 and 2.41 ERA from 2022 and 2023. He gave up no runs when he did get his little debut with Seattle at the major league level, and him being at 25 years old, very promising pitcher that we were looking to add to the bullpen. But Gregory Santos definitely holds the stats in order to hold up his end. The other person that we sent away, like I said, Zach Deloach. Zach Deloach was a second-round draft pick for the Mariners, and he was a really keen power bat that we were looking forward to having and bringing up through the system. But in AA and AAA, starting in 2022 and also 2023, he has played very well down in AA and AAA. And in fact, I can just read off his numbers. Hitting a batting average of 286, OBP of 387, and a slugging percentage of 481. So he's definitely proving himself by also bringing that big bat with 23 home runs this last season. Now, why would we trade that away? That seems like a big bat, and it seems like a really good relief arm, both in AAA, MLB ready to come up and really prove themselves. He broke one rule, and that's the Jerry Depoto rule, and that would be the 30% rule of strikeouts. Last season, he struck out 173 times in AAA, not even the bigs, in AAA. At that rate, based on Fangraphs' estimation, he struck out in AAA, I'm going to keep emphasizing this, in AAA, not MLB, he struck out 27.8% of the time. No, that does not pass Jerry Depoto's number one rule as far as eliminating the strikeouts from this team, because that is the reason why the Mariners have never really made it to the playoffs in the recent years, is because the strikeouts have been killing them as a team. 2022, the actual number of strikeouts was decreased slightly. Like if you look at a graph, it dipped for a second and that got them through. Last year, it plagued them. Zips, the Bat X, ATC, Fangraphs, Steamer, they all predict that if he were to play in the major leagues, in the MLB, strikeout rate, 30.8%, 31.2%, 31.2%, 33.2%, 31.7%, 32.6%. Do I need to keep going? He's breaking that 30% barrier. And so Jerry said this guy is disposable. Yes, he has a heavy bat. Yes, he's going to be able to perform at the big leagues. Yes, he's going to do well in the big leagues. But right now, Mariners do not have a place on the roster for him. But what is feasible is that our bullpen needed attention. The bats are there. If they can stay healthy and they can perform, the Mariners will do very well at the plate, especially in home games, and be able to be a contender this year in the AL West, which is obviously plagued by insanely strong teams, Texas Rangers, Astros. Now let's get to the main guy that we've all been wanting to figure out who he is, Gregory Santos. Now, besides the fact of his age and his stats, let's look a little bit deeper. First of all, this is a relief pitcher for Chicago, a not so great team, and Santos alone was able to put up a 1.3 WAR. A relief pitcher putting up 1.3 WAR. If you don't know how significant that is, you are not analytically looking at this correctly. Just letting you know. In case you're a Mariner fan out there being all negative because it's cloudy outside, I get it. But this is impressive. And in fact, his 1.3 WAR is higher than what an estimated 69th draft pick would equal, plus Deloach, plus Prelander. Hear me out. Last season, he was able to throw a 3.39 ERA with 2 wins and 2 losses. Out of 66.1 innings pitched, he struck out 66 batters. So every single inning, he struck out a batter as a relief pitcher. He played in 60 games and had a whip of 1.30. This is really good. I don't know how to explain this any better to anybody else. Looking at his Savant page, this guy he's so red. He's so red. And if you don't know what baseball Savant does, if you're in the red, you're doing something right. His breaking run value is at the 98th percentile. 98. That is the best you can get, besides maybe 100. And the only person I know that gets 100 is Blake Snell, who won the Cy Young last year. Let's put that in perspective. His expected ERA for this next season is going to be a 3.16, which puts him at the 89th percentile. His fastball velocity is averaging at 98.8 miles per hour, also at the 98th percentile in the MLB. His chase percentage is 91st percentile at 33.5%. He gets guys to chase at balls out of the zone at 33% of the time. His whiff rate is at 30%, which is the 77th percentile. What else do you need? Like, this guy is insane. His barrel percent rate is at the 100th percentile. 1.5% of the time, batters barrel up the ball. Now, I understand what you guys might actually say about this. Like, he's only been in for like 3 years. But 3 years is a lot more than most relievers that are putting up numbers like this. 100th percentile for barrel percentage, 1.5% of the time they're barreling up the ball. This is the completion of the Mariners bullpen trifecta. And when I say that, is that every team needs a bullpen trifecta. You look at the Astros, they have Hader, they have Presley, they had Neris, now they have Abreu. 3 guys. That's your setup crew. That's your reliever, is your setup, and that's your closer. So you're expecting your starters to go till the 6th. So it means it gives you a guy for the 6th inning, the 7th inning. You swap him out for the 8th for your setup guy, and then your closer at the very end. Your 3 main bullpen guys to shut them down. Munoz is the closer for the Mariners right now, and he's already throwing up to 103 miles an hour. He is our version, our young stud of Aroldis Chapman. That's what he is for the M's. And this addition, since last year Justin Topa was going to be it, since he got traded over to the Twins for Polanco, this guy replaces them. Going back to the Twins deal, M sent over Justin Topa, who was the 3rd arm in their bullpen that was going to be deadly and really perform extremely well last season. Well, what's that? What's that, baseball savant? Who is Santos compared to? Enhance. Now, Gregory Santos has 4 major pitches, and his go-to is his slider. It is a nasty, nasty slider. His whiff rate for his slider is 37.5%. His put-out percentage is at 26.7%. His other pitches he has is a sinker, four-seam fastball, and a changeup. they're a little bit lower on the tier as far as that goes, but his sinker and his changeup are still 21% and 25% of the time. People are completely missing his pitches. His fastball, a little bit less. It's a 7.7. I would say is probably his weaker of all of them, but his main one being his slider, the slugging percentage is a 203 on that ball. You know, when you put him in, he's not going to give up a hard hit or a home run. He's going to get you ground balls, he's going to get you fly balls, but that is it. Like I mentioned earlier, his barreled percentage was 1.5% of the time in the last 3 years. I don't know. I didn't know much about this guy until I dug deep in him. Obviously, it's 10 o'clock at night while I'm releasing this video and recording. So I've really been looking into every single little thing that he's done and comparing it to a lot of other players. Players like Josh Hader. Now, comparing the two as far as Josh Hader goes and Gregory Santos, there is a lot of red on both. Obviously, Josh Hader is a closer, so because he's a closer, he's playing, and he's honestly kind of refused to pitch more than one inning every single time he enters. He's strictly the closer, so he gets 3 batters unless he messes up, which is very rare. These comparisons you have to take with a little bit of tweaking and try to see what I'm trying to tell you. Now, if you look at what's going on here, so let's just go with the breaking run value. So it's at a 17 for Gregory Santos at the 98th percentile, which is it's the best. It's one of the best you can get, versus the breaking run value when it came to Hader was only 87th percentile at 7. If you look at these two and compare them to like a Baseball Savant page, as far as Josh Hader and Gregory Santos, it's almost like they're complete opposites in a way, where wherever Josh Hader is kind of, I want to say not poor at, but just not excelling in, he's not the best of the best, Gregory Santos seems to fill in that gap. Now, I understand that Josh Hader is a closer. He pitches 1 inning. He's been very stern about that, so he faces 3 batters most of the time because he's so well. He does so well. Let's put it this way. His expected batting average is at the 100th percentile at a 157 batting average against him. So expect people he's not going to face any more than 3 if he's able to live up to these expectations. Now, if you look at the breaking run value, as far as Gregory Santos, he's in the 98th percentile at 17, and Josh Hader is at 87th percentile at 7. Significantly better, versus the pitching run value for Josh Hader is 94th percentile at 19, and pitching run value is at 73rd percentile at 9. You see where they're flipping here? It's like they're filling each other's gaps. It's kind of crazy that you're saying arguably the best relief pitcher is comparative to Gregory Santos, who I don't think anybody was talking about on ESPN as being a Cy Young Award, best reliever, whatever you want to call him. Now, also take a look at Josh Hader's ground ball percentage. He's at the 21st percentile with a 37.2% rate. Okay, this is one of the best relievers in baseball. Gregory Santos is at an 87th percentile, 52.2%. He might not strike everybody out and have a crazy windup, but they cannot hit his pitches. So when I say you guys should be very excited about this trade, believe me, the stats are there. He's proven himself, and he's coming to Seattle. Was this an overpay? Probably. I think a lot of people were questioning the Jorge Polanco trade as an overpay. I actually don't think that was. I don't think it was necessary for us to trade Deloach, a 69th draft pick. Why did it be 69th? I don't get that. Or to also include Prelander in there. It just doesn't, or Baroa, if you want to go that way. It doesn't make any sense as far as the value goes there. I mean, I guess I can see his WAR being significantly more, so it kind of averages out. But to give up such a big bat that you can really work on the strikeouts and improve the contact of a number 2 round prospect that was MLB ready this coming season, I do think it was an overpay, but also consider all of the talk that's been going on when it comes to Getz and the White Sox. Getz was not going to let go of anybody unless it was an overpay. Look at Cease. He doesn't want to make a deal with anybody because he wants to have 2 of the best pitchers you have or the best hitters you have. He's always demanding more than what they're actually valued for, especially with their club control that they have. He acts like he owns the Astros. I don't like, he doesn't have a World Series All-Star team. He really doesn't. He has a few really good assets that are not progressing too good. He let go of Tim Anderson because of the antics and because he wasn't doing good after he got knocked out by Jose Ramirez. He has Luis Robert Jr., but that is their star. That's their stud. That's the face of their organization right now besides Dylan Cease, and all he can do is talk about how Dylan Cease is on the trading block and he's going to be traded somewhere, but he never pulls the trigger. Imagine how Dylan Cease is going to perform when he has to be ready at any time to pack his shit and head to another team. It's not good what he's doing, but the Mariners did need that third arm. They really did, and they found it in Gregory Santos. Now, if I am wrong and he does not perform like he should, but looking at the stats, looking at what he did last year, seeing how in the last 3 years he has progressed significantly, dropping his ERA by a lot, he might be going into his prime season, and he's going to do that as being a very well-slotted relief pitcher for every game we possibly can put him in, because he can perform. And so, with that said, Jerry, hat off to you. I'm glad we did this trade. White Sox picked up an amazing hitter, and they will do very good with him next year. I'm assuming he's probably going to start on their roster, and I think Chicago will benefit well, especially with Prelander. Prelander's a great, excellent relief pitcher that should be ready by next season. He did already play in the majors. He got a little taste. He didn't do bad, but it was only for 1 inning. The trade-off is good. We got what we needed, and they got a bat plus a relief pitcher to take Gregory Santos's spot. So I think it was a good deal across the board for both teams. I do think it's an overpay. I don't know why we needed to include a draft pick. I think those two would have been just perfectly fine. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We have just started this channel. We're about a month in already. I think we made it to 130 subscribers, so you guys are awesome. Every one of you that did subscribe, I appreciate it. If you want to join this family, we can grow together and learn together. Comment below if you think this was a bad deal or if it was a good deal, or if you're very upset like most Mariners are on every deal that seems to happen, no matter how good the team looks. Let me know. And if you think it was a good deal and we can celebrate together, I'll see you on the next one. Later.